Okay, today is March 3rd. It's the third day, end of the third day of my 30-day juice fast, March 2022. And just want to give the wrap up for today. Um, Went to exercise. I did a lot of juicing. That goes without saying. I did a lot of juicing and had a lot of juice in the bank. So I went to exercise at the rec center. I did 20 minutes of the stationary bike. I did 12 minutes of running. I did some walking around the track, some yoga, some, what do they call that? Squats. And did a sauna, did a whirlpool. That felt really good. So I had a good morning, it was good. I'm trying to think of how I felt when I was exercising. I think I felt better today physically when I was exercising. However, the clothes I chose to wear were kind of my small clothes. And I fit into them, but they're really tight around the waist, really tight around the waist. And after the day wore on, I think it started to affect like my digestion. And I was feeling like the food that I'd eaten, it's like the juice was kind of coming into the system, and it was like they were meeting, and the juice was pushing out the food, and it's like, I think the word is bloated, gaseous, some discomfort, but it also had to do with my really tight pants, which I finally took off in the evening because Gary was supposed to come over tonight, my husband, and I was in such discomfort. I thought, you better change your pants because, it's okay when you're just here alone, but, if there's somebody else here, you want to feel a little more comfortable. And anyway, so let's see, I got stuff done today other than the juicing. I did a big tomato juice. I had a meeting on Zoom, and I really wanted to have a good tomato juice when I was on this meeting, so I juiced up a whole mess of it. I did it really fast, so I had some really scrumptious juice. It was actually after that, and I had a Diet Coke when I was on the meeting. I was like, that's when the whole system started going, and it was uncomfortable. But at the same time, it's like psychologically I felt better because it's like I'm not hungry. There's no issue with that at all. I'm just like I'm like floating down the river, with this juice fast, and I'm headed in a good direction, and also coming to grips with what would happen if I hadn't started down this journey, this slow journey to a better outcome. And so psychologically, I think I was feeling upbeat, because I'm in the solution. I'm no longer in the problem. Now I'm in the solution. And I had watched a YouTube video that I made at the end of my 30-day juice fast last June. And in it, I was talking about how I started watching all these food shows. And I can remember that. And I was introduced to some really great food shows. Britain's Cupcake Wars and Darren McGreevy, the chef to the queen. And all these really fun shows. And I can remember watching it as entertainment and thinking, like, I was just going through my different channels and thinking, well, should I start that now or should I wait till like 20 days in? And I think I should probably wait before I start that. Not interested in eating, actually. It's kind of like the subject of food, which is such a big part of my life, and I think most people's life. It's also one of the biggest issues that we have that's unspoken, is how to keep eating in proper perspective in one's life, and all the ramifications if you don't. And there's just not a big discussion about that. When I was growing up in the 50s, before television and advertising really made food really sexy, and before fast food places, there were no fast food places, no drive-through. People sat down to meals. Mother cooked a meal. Everybody's mother cooked a meal. And it was in my house, it was a balanced meal. You had a vegetable, you might have a starch, you had a meat. I was not a vegetarian then. I came into this planet as a natural vegetarian, but I can remember thinking, you know, that they eat steak and they eat, shellfish and they eat all this stuff. And I'm a guest here. I'm a guest in this home, so don't make waves. Uh, just eat what you're served. But I was always kind of a natural vegetarian. I was appalled by steaks. I remember one time my father brought home live lobsters and they're like crawling around on the kitchen floor. And then he put them in the boiling water. I thought, ooh, this is savage. This is savage. I felt like, I don't know. But I'm sure I ate the lobster with the drawn butter and just thought it was great. And my mother was a very good cook. She cooked things from scratch and very healthy cook. But that was kind of normal, and people, for the most part, stayed normally sized. Also, the jumbo potato chips and the jumbo Milky Way bags. You didn't have the big box stores or even like Walmart where they had the jumbo candy. I mean, that would have been outlandish. People did not do that. I had neighbors who had chips delivered. It's called Charles Chips, and they were delivered in a big tin like once a month, I think it was. And you'd put the empty tin out, and then you'd have this big, tin of chips or pretzels, or maybe a variety. And, the family might snack it on that for the month. But we didn't have that. We didn't have any chips, no soda, none of that stuff. And it was what we were doing basically, in my estimation, was normal eating, like right size, like eat till you're full and stop, and we didn't have dessert much. Every once in a while, some people did, but maybe one slice of pie, or it's just, I don't know. But anyway, somehow over time, with the advertising and commercials that would come on the television that made chocolate cake just look like Duncan Hines mixes with the frosting, and it's like, oh my God, look at that. Chocolate cake was never that important before that. It was just cake. But anyway, so somehow I got swept up into the eating thing, and fortunately, I found juicing and a way to rein it in. And so, like I'm not missing eating. Let's put it that way. I'm just not really missing it. I don't do it now. It's like something I don't do. But anyway, just that's it for me today. I wanted to check in. I was thinking during the day, what are you going to say? And I don't think I said any of the stuff I thought about except for the discomfort. But that's going to pass in another couple days. And I'll be feeling better. I know I'm headed in a good direction. And also I can feel some of the swellings going down, and some of the, not swelling, what do they call that when you have, it's not swelling, it's the inflammation. That's one of the things I noticed with juicing is after 10, 20 days, the inflammation in your body is gone and you have tremendous flexibility, which will be very good for my hand that's in recovery. And one does not notice that one has inflammation until it goes, So anyway, that's it. That's my day 3 wrap up, March 2022, 30-day juice fast.